Hello and welcome to my first year vending, farmers markets, and craft shows. All of the vending events that I did in 2022. That's me, Steffi! I am the CEO of Simply Complex Art Shop, and I run this thing along with my co-CEO, Sky. He is my boyfriend, my best friend, and a huge part of why this whole operation was able to be a reality. An important piece when you're vending is to make sure that you've got a pop-up canopy. This will protect you from the rain, which will definitely happen, the wind, and the sun too. It'll provide some shade for you. So we ordered ours from Quictent, direct from the company's website. It's not sponsored or anything, but I absolutely recommend them. The price is pretty affordable, and the quality of the tent was pretty awesome for what we were using it for. So yeah, highly recommend Quictent. It came with a two zipper sides and two sides that had windows. The windows weren't, they were like closed, so it wasn't like vented or anything, but the windows were really nice. That way we could have the wall up but still have the light come through. And the I think they call it a church style window was really cute, so I opted for that. Yeah, worked out great, so highly recommend it. You're also going to need tent weights. We made our own tent weights from heavy duty cardboard tubes that we filled with concrete, added handles and a little loop on the top. That way we could tie a rope and string them to the corners of our tents. These worked well, however they were not heavy enough, so we ended up just using cinder blocks. So while the tent weights that we made were cuter and a little bit easier to move around with the handle that we put on there, just go for cinder blocks if you're gonna do it. We used ratchet straps and cinder blocks later on in our journey of vending, so save yourself some time and money. Cinder blocks are cheap, ratchet straps are pretty cheap too, and do that for your tent weights. You'll thank us later. Fun little story, one of these events we spent most of the time holding the tent down because a storm came through and the wind was just, we almost lost our tent. It was that windy, like we were both just on either end of the tent holding it down, and the whole market packed up like an hour early. Some people even like lost merchandise and their tents were getting all blown around. So long story short, use some cinder blocks. They work great. We haven't had any issues since we switched over to cinder blocks. So if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna vend and you need to hold your tent down, ratchet straps, cinder blocks will have you covered. In addition to the tent, we got tables, tablecloths, we got a banner to hang at the back of our tent so that people could see our shop name, and business cards too. You want to make sure you get business cards. I recommend putting QR code on the back. A lot of people really enjoyed hearing, oh yeah, oh we're online, scan the QR code, it'll take you right to the shop. So yeah, get you some business cards. That's an easy way to get people to check out your shop. That brings us to our first vending event of ever, Peck Thing. It is a 2-day event. We camped there and we were able to camp right at our spot, which was super nice. We could just set up our tents. We have a van that we're converting into a tiny house, so it's about like halfway built right now. So we were able to just park right at our spot and sleep in our van, which was awesome, so much fun. We had a blast, but yeah, so here's some video clips from the first day. What you'll see first here is the necklaces and other jewelry that I've got available. I used to wire wrap, but I'm moving kind of away from that a little bit. There's our banner. We also dug crystals in Arkansas, and so we ended up bringing this bucket on a whim at the last second. So we've got 3-for-1 crystals, lucky little llamas. These guys are really the star of the show here. And then we got more crystals and more crystals. And there's a couple little wire trees and some sculptures. We did a couple little mushrooms on some of the crystals. And here's the rest of the little llamas that we've got available. These are mini llama good luck charms, and I'll make a video about those. Hi friends! These are our friends Casey and RJ. They came to visit us on our first vending event. So sweet. Out front of our tent, you will see the ponchos and the purses. I upcycle the purses and make them out of old clothing or like remnants and things and stuff that I can salvage and recycle. And yeah, the ponchos are just cozy and warm. And this is how our full booth looked. Our first little put together pop-up shop. And there's my two sisters. They came to visit. Hi guys, thanks for supporting your little sis. They had the brilliant idea to move the llamas over to the first table. That way when you first walk into our booth, they're the thing that you're gonna see right away. And then we moved the jewelry over by the ponchos, which makes more sense in theory to have kind of all the wearables in one space. And since we moved the llamas, we were able to have all the crystals kind of spread out a little bit better. So yeah, thanks guys for the advice, because looking at the differences from the first to the second setup, this makes a lot more sense. That way the llamas are all in one table, the necklaces are over by the other wearables, the ponchos and the purses, and then the crystals kind of have their space to breathe too. So yeah, this is how our first day went. It was a great turnout, beautiful weather, so blessed to have good weather. So after day one was over, we still had some projects that we wanted to finish, so we were up super late that night, didn't get much sleep, and then I didn't really get much footage from day two. It was pretty busy. I did end up getting a clip of me walking up to the back of the tent from the bathrooms and stuff, getting ready in the morning, and then I took a few pictures of the way we set the llamas up because we had more llama-ramas and I wanted to document that, but I guess that was the only thing I documented from day two, but the rest was pretty much the same, and it ended up being a great turnout. It was pretty exhausting. I recommend for your first event ever, maybe don't do a 2-day event unless you're conscientious. It was a great experience and we had a good time, made some good money, and met a lot of great people. So yeah, it was Peck Thing, Spring Peck Thing. Check off the list. First vending event complete. This brings us to our next event. This is our first day at the Janesville Farmers Market. We did sign up for, I think like 7 or 8 dates, a few weeks spread out, and this was our first one. So here's some footage from the very first Janesville Farmers Market. And yay for us, it was raining the whole day. My sister Jenna came to help out. Thanks Jenna for all your help. It was awesome having you there. Appreciate you. So this is kind of how we set up the booth. Since it was raining, we smushed everything in to our booth, including the ponchos there in the corner. We were able to get everything set up for the most part. There's my grandparents. Hi guys. Even though it was raining cats and dogs, they came out to visit. Thanks. Oh, I just love them so much. They're so sweet. There's our little llamas. You can see the ponchos in the corner. We did end up doing a giveaway. We had people write down their name and number if they were interested, and we gave away a llama-rama, and some crystals too. So that was how the first day went. It was a great turnout. Even though it was raining, it was awesome. So thanks to Jenna again for your help, and thanks to my grandparents for coming to see me. So sweet. Our next event was at the Janesville Farmers Market again, and again, it was raining. It was raining even harder this time. So our tent worked great for the most part. We ended up having to push. It was like the water was pooling on the roof, so we ended up having to push up the bubbles of water that were forming about like every 5 minutes maybe. So that really sucked. And then where the Velcro on the roof of the canopy, where that attaches to the frame, there was little pinholes. So the water would drip every once in a while in certain spots. So that was fun, but better than having no canopy at all. It was fine, it was okay. We made it work. So here's some clips from that day. I don't think we ended up even putting the ponchos out, because also the tent walls, if you were to touch them, the water would come through, so that really sucked. But there's me and Sky having a great time anyway, even though it's raining. We did do more mushroom sculptures this time, so we've got different types of mushrooms and other stuff and things to sculpt it on top of the crystals. So when we dug our own crystals, I went a little overboard. Naturally, as a rock hound, I just can't not bring every rock home that I find that has a little bit of a sparkle. So we had a lot of what we call project pieces, which are any clusters or crystals that are like broken on one side or not perfectly perfect. And so we decided to sculpt mushrooms and other little things on them to make them more of a piece rather than a broken crystal. So here's a good amount of the ones that we were playing around with. We did learn that you have to put wire in the clay, otherwise some of them slump over in the oven when you're baking them. So they still turned out pretty cute, even though some were slumped. Yeah, that's how our second day, raining again. Still a pretty good turnout. There was actually more customers than it looked like. It looked like there was nobody there, but there wasn't one event that we didn't have a good turnout with Janesville Farmers Market. It was always worth it. We never lost any money, so that's really cool. So shout out to the customers at Janesville Farmers Market. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys showing up even though it's raining, which it's awesome. But yeah, so that was our second day at the Janesville Farmers Market. And you know what they say, third time is the charm. So this is our third vending event at Janesville Market. That would bring us to our fourth on the tally of how many we've done so far this year. It wasn't raining, yay, third time's the charm. No rain. I didn't really get much footage from this day. It was very busy, which is awesome. But I did end up getting some pictures, so here's the pictures that I got from that day. So the next event that we did was the Rockton Art Walk. We were invited by Jess, as she owns a Down to Earth Pottery, and oh my god, just look at this. She makes such good stuff. Look at the glazes are beautiful. The craftsmanship is beautiful. I cannot rave enough about her stuff. Oh my god, I will absolutely be getting more pieces because this is gorgeous. We did do a trade. She was loving the llamas, so she agreed to trade me a llama for a mug. So thanks, Jess, for the invite to this event and for your beautiful mug. It is my favorite mug that I will ever own. Unless, of course, I get one of your mushroom mugs. Oh my god. I'll link her stuff down below so you can go find her because she makes beautiful pottery, as you can see here. Love it. Anyway, thanks Jess for the invite. It was a really cute event. I believe the people that set it up it's a new winery that opened up and they were doing free wine tasting. So they also wanted to bring in some local artists, which is super sweet. And I ended up being one of them. So here's some footage from our little setup at the Rockton Art Walk. So we were set up here on the end and I brought all of our goods and our things and our stuff. We've got the little llamas here on the end along with the llama-ramas. Oh, and this was our first time debuting bismuth crystals. So I think I pan back and show you better clips of those. But got bismuth crystals. I'll tell you a little bit more about those. This was also the first one that we did crystal trays rather than those bags. Like at Peck Thing, we had all the bags of crystals. Those took so long to take out and set up. So we decided against the bags and I sorted them into like price points and put the crystals in trays. And that worked out a lot better. And then same with the bismuth. My dad makes bismuth crystals, so he sent me some of the crystals that he made, as well as ones that he got from the Bismuth Smith, which he is the only person that actually casts bismuth and makes like bismuth sculptures. So I've got some inventory from the Bismuth Smith, which is really cool. So I've got some of those pieces available, as well as crystals that my dad made. So thanks, Dad, for sending me those. They're super cool and super awesome. What else? Oh, my dad also sent me calcite shells. He dug some clams out in Florida that they've calcified. So it's a fossilized shell with calcite crystals. So cool. So I've got those in my inventory now. So things that have changed during this one were new crystals and trays, not new, but crystals in the trays rather than in the bags, and then bismuth crystals and the calcite clams. So super fun little things to debut for this really cute and special event that we got to be at. After the Rockton Art Walk, we were back at the Janesville Farmers Market, and yeah, pretty much the same kind of setup that we had at the Rockton Art Walk. I did 50% off of my necklaces. Like I said before, I'm kind of phasing away from the wire wraps. I haven't done too much more except for really basic ones like quartz crystal necklaces with a simple little wrap. I'll probably stick with doing those. I have tons of crystals still from our adventure into Arkansas to dig our own crystals. So we've got bismuth crystals set up. Oh, and then that was where it must have been really busy because I didn't get any footage from the rest of the booth. That was just where it ended that day. Had no more footage, but that's cool. I didn't want to be rude and either film customers or butt in front of them just to get footage. Don't do that. That'd be strange. So no new footage. That was it. That was it for that day. But there was no rain, so no rain is always good in my book. Woo. Our next event was the Evansville Underground Music Event. So this was definitely a lot different than the other events that we've been to. We were invited so last minute, literally the night before. The person running this messaged me and said, hey, I am having this music event, local music, and I want to start getting artists to vend there too. And I said, oh, that's cool, sure. Why not? I'll show up. We could probably make it by tomorrow. So we just on a whim went out there and it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a little weird because we were the only artists that were set up other than the band had a couple tables of their merch and stuff, and they had food vendors, but then there was us. But it was a lot of fun. It was cool. Met a lot of really cool people, heard some music. It was a good time. So here's some clips from Evansville Underground Music. There's me and Sky in our matching shirts. Ah, he's so cute. I freaking love him. And here's the event. Had the food vendor set up over there, along with the merch tables for the bands. Everybody was stretched out on the lawn, and then the band was just jamming away. And then there was us. Then there was us over here. We've got the calcite clams, the jewelry, sculptures, bismuth crystals, quartz crystals, and then the lucky little llamas. It looks like this is the first time debuting my llamas in ponchos. I call them lomchos. Llama ponchos, lomchos. Oh, there's me! Hi, me! Hello! Eating chips. Eating some sun chips and some orange soda. Bopping along. We got our ponchos and our purses, so look at the full booth. And then we'll zoom you around to our lucky little llamas with all their silly little faces. They all have their own little personalities. Ooh, money llamas. Those have $100 bills in their pockets. Quartz crystals, bismuth crystals, a couple sculptures, pouch necklaces, crystal point necklaces, and clamshells. And there's me again. Oh, enjoying the day. It was such beautiful weather. It's cold. It's so cold. So looking back at this footage, looks so nice. Our next event is back at the Janesville Farmers Market. This event was the first time that we got to use our new llama display. Sky made this. It folds up on itself, and it's got two layers, or two platforms. So we've got the classic llamas on the bottom, specialty llamas on the top. We've got a couple fall items. There's some pumpkins there, our bismuth, my cutie sky, hello. Crystals, sculptures. We've got a lot more sculptures this time. And of course we've got our jewelry and what's left of the wire wraps, ponchos, purses. And then this event we debuted zipper pulls, keychains, and bracelets. These were new things to try out. I love the feeling of a zipper pull on a zipper. It is so satisfying. And so we made a bunch of zipper pulls, keychains, of course. I mean, all of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory, some stretchy bracelets. It's nice to have a few cheaper items. That way, if someone wants to support your art, it's a good way for them to only spend a couple bucks and still support you and still get a cool little item. So we've got our zipper pulls for $1, keychains for $2, and stretchy bracelets for $3. We try and keep our stuff pretty reasonable. The bismuth is definitely a higher priced item. That bismuth is just, it's a rare metal and it takes a lot to manipulate. And yeah, so bismuth is definitely the highest priced items that we've got. The ponchos and stuff being next, then crystals, and then the llamas and things and jewelry. So we try not to have our things too expensive because we know, especially in this day and age, a lot of people don't have a lot of money to spend on extra stuff and things, on artwork. You know, if you're choosing between artwork or food, obviously people are going to buy food. Price is going up so much. So I just want to thank everyone that has supported my art thus far, because that's so incredible. For our next event, we are back at Pecthing. Pecthing happens twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. So it's crazy to see how much we've grown from just in 4 months. From the very first time, it was our very first event. So it's like super extreme of like all little baby vendors to now we've actually got like a full setup. The spot is 20 feet wide, so we wanted to get a second tent. We bought another tent. That way we could have a canopy over everything, because we knew we were gonna fill up the whole space this time. So if it were to rain, which it did, we wanted to make sure all of our stuff was protected. That way we didn't have to shove everything under one tent. So we bought another tent. We thought we were ordering the same exact one. However, it ended up being so much better, so much higher quality. I thought it was the same one, but I guess they launched like a new and improved version of the one that we bought. It's amazing. It is, the differences are insane. The angle of the tent walls, or the roof, the angle of the roof was better so that water no longer pooled on the top. Awesome. Because before, when it was raining, we would every like 2 minutes we had to push bubbles of water, and then it would be like a whole waterfall off the side of the tent. So that sucked. Also, the material that they used was no longer, like, the water didn't transfer through. So in our first tent, when you touched the walls, the water came through. And then with this new one, when you touch the walls, the water didn't come through. So awesome. They've made so many improvements. The frame was thicker, nicer, and then since it's a pop-up canopy and it collapses, they had little push button things rather than pushing that sketchy little knob in that like pinches your fingers most of the time. They had like proper hardware there. So that was awesome. What else? The Velcro was sewn better, so we didn't have any leaks from where it was stitched. So many improvements, so many improvements. Also, Quictent, if you want to sponsor me, that'd be really cool. I would love to work with you. I had to use your customer service. You guys were great. Anyway, Quictent, awesome. Get your tents from Quictent because they're affordable, and I'll put some links below just because I like them that much. Not that it's sponsored or anything, but if you need an affordable quality pop-up tent, go with Quictent. Anyway, back to Pecthing. So we've got our double tents. So now we're set up for our whole booth section that we've got. We did resale. So we wanted to we're dabbling in the world of resale, and it's going really well. So I'll also put, we've got a resale business now online. Ooh, double business owner. So we've got our art shop, which I will link below. We've got our resale shop, which I will also link below. So this was our first time dabbling in resale. So we just bought random stuff and things that called to us that we got at a good price that we could then sell for more, because Pecthing is more of like a flea market style. event. So we did the resale, and then I also wanted to sell plants because I wanted to try and get rid of some of my plants. They're taking over my life. So I did cuttings and, you know, redid, like, propagated succulents and all that. And we found tiny little planters, like little pots or teacups, or, you know, you name it. We tested it. We wanted like miniature tiny things. We love tiny things. So anything tiny and cute and at a good price we bought to put a plant in and resell, and the plants did awesome. So anyway, I'm rambling. Let's cut to some footage of our Peck thing in the fall. Second time at Peck. Woo. Here's an example of some of the planters that we found, whether it be a tiny planter, a tiny shot glass or something, or Tupperware, or you name it. We got it here. You can kind of see a little example of the stuff that I was talking about. Oh, the little turtle guy in the back. Oh, so cute. So I had a lot of fun planting these and sticking little vine cuttings and succulents and stuff, and I found these 2 terrariums for a super good price, so of course I had to fill those up, which I ended up, no one bought those, which I'm totally fine with, because then that means I get to look at them for longer. So I've still got those, but we're gonna do Peck again this year, so we'll definitely be bringing these back. Maybe they'll find a home. If not, I don't mind keeping these because I think they're absolutely gorgeous. They catch the sun so beautifully, and then that vine in the front is a climby vine. So it'll grow, it'll climb. It's like the same kind of vines that you see behind me when I'm in the clip now where I'm recording this, but yeah, so all of our plants are all packed up in these little boxes and we are getting them ready to go. I'm super glad that I did this. We didn't sell all of the plants, but we ended up selling enough to make our money back for what we spent on the planters and on the dirt, and then some. So it was definitely a success. So I had a lot of fun playing around with my plants and repotting them and putting them in their tiny little things, and it ended up being a success. So that's always awesome. So yeah, these plants are all ready to be loaded up and taken to Peck. So yeah, these are some clips from the first day. It did end up raining. It started raining. Oh, there's my family. My dad was in town and my sisters came and hung out, and a ton of friends and family showed up this day. So that's all the footage that I got from day 1. It did end up raining. It started raining, and since the tents were at different heights, we couldn't really, there was like a gap between them. So we ended up they came with zipper walls, right? So we attached the zipper walls in the center in between, and then I rolled them together so they were kind of like this, and then we clamped them because we had clamps with us, and it worked. It actually worked. So there wasn't any water dripping in between our tent, so it was cool. We could hang out there and customers could be under our tent too and get out of the rain. So my goodness, if you are going to do outside events, be prepared for the rain. It will happen. It has happened. It probably has rained the majority of the events that we've done. So be prepared for the rain. It's not that bad, but it can get bad. So just be prepared. So yeah, that was day 1. Let's check out day 2. So day 2 of fall Peck thing. This weather was gorgeous. It was way more calm of a day than the prior day, since all my family and friends came to visit us the day before. This day was a lot more chill. It was just me and Sky hanging out. All of our customers seemed to come out on Saturday too. Sunday, I don't know if there was another event or what, but there was still a good amount of traffic, but it was way less than the first day. So we were just kind of chilling the whole day, and with the beautiful weather, it was nice to just kind of relax. And here's our little planty plants. And then we've got, so the first time we brought just a 5-gallon bucket of these 3-for-1 crystals, but people love digging through these bins of crystals. So we bought the rest of our inventory this time, and we're like, let's get them gone. Let's get people digging in these crystals. And then here's some of our resale items. Sky was able to find fig pins for a good deal, so we've got some cool fig pins. We've got just little odds and ends and stuff, and some pottery items, and really whatever caught our eye and we thought was cool, we decided to pick up and try and resell. So we've been having a lot of fun with doing reselling. And then here is our jewelry and our sculptures and the bismuth crystals. Yeah, it's not too much more to say other than Peck is always a lot of fun. We love camping at our spot. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun together, and vending has been awesome. It's so just cool to see people's face light up when they look at your art. To have people appreciate your art as much as you do is so freaking cool. It's so cool. I'm so grateful for all the support that I've had from family and friends and our customers. Oh, we also brought spools. So at a job we used to have, they would just throw these spools away, the wooden spools, and we wanted to do some projects with them, so we asked, we're like, hey, you're just throwing these away, can we have them? And they were like, yeah, sure, take them, we don't care, we're throwing them away. It's less trash for us to pay to get rid of. So we ended up having a literal garage full of these spools because people knew we were collecting them, so they would just get them for us. So between the ones we were taking and the ones that people were getting for us too, we had so many spools. So we thought, hey, let's bring a couple and see if people want to buy them. And we actually sold out of all the spools that we had, so that was really cool. So yeah, you never know the kind of stuff and things that people are interested in, but if you love what you do, it's like you're not working. Like that saying of like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Vending is hard work because it takes a lot. You gotta haul all your stuff there, you gotta set up all your stuff, and then you gotta sit around, and customer service and working with people can be kind of draining, especially if you're a bit of an introvert. It can be kind of a lot to talk to people all day, but I have met such amazing people. It has been so much fun. I super enjoy what I do. I mean, I would do this on the side anyway, so to have the opportunity to do this full-time as my career is absolutely incredible. What an amazing opportunity. And my computer just died, and I was watching my stream of that on here, so I'm gonna have to go get a card. One moment. Way to interrupt. I was getting all sentimental. Then my computer shut down, so I guess we'll pause on the sentimentality, and I'm kind of losing my light anyway. Maybe I'll pick this up tomorrow. I'll finish my little voiceover video tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow. It'll be 2 seconds for you, but it'll be a whole day for me. Okay, bye for now, until I say hello again in 1, 2, 3. Hello. It's been like 3 days now since the last part, but we're just gonna keep on rolling with it. So our next event is, we're back at the Janesville Farmers Market. It is now October, and we've got Halloween stuff going on. We decorated the tent a little bit, so let's take a look at the footage from the Janesville Farmers Market. So here is how our booth looks. We've got the ponchos and purses out front. It wasn't raining, so the weather was starting to get chilly, so we are a little bit more bundled, but we've kind of got everything in the same spots. Now that we've done quite a few events, we know what we like where and how we like everything set up. So you'll see the jewelry and the zipper pulls and bracelets and keychains on the end there. And then we've got the bismuth crystals next to that, as well as the calcite shells and the quartz crystals, and then our 3-for-1 bins. And we decorated the tent a little bit. We got a spooky ghost. He kind of blends in to the tent, but a spooky ghost. And then we found this garland of the jack-o'-lanterns, and they're actually metal, so we were super excited to find like a quality Halloween garland. Most of the time they're either paper or like a heavy plastic or something, but those were metal, so it was cool. But we've got Halloween-y stuff, the lucky little llamas. We made a whole graveyard, so we've got more like Halloween sculptures and Halloween llamas. I put them in Halloween costumes, and yeah, it was a good time. It's always a good time. Oh, and then the little spiders. A couple little spooky spiders. This guy all bundled up, aw, cutie. We had a spooky spider hanging from the top. Here you can see all of our llamas and our sculptures. There you can see I put them in costumes. We got a hot dog, a hamburger. I did a wizard llama, the witches, one that looks like a pirate with an eye patch and a sword. We've got the llamas and lamchos, the llama ponchos. What else? I did a sheet ghost, a devil. I did ones that looked like they had like spiders crawling on them and covered in spider web. So I started getting creative with the lucky little llamas to put them in costumes. Halloween is our favorite holiday, so we're very excited for October to come around so that we could incorporate some Halloween elements. Our next event was the Janesville Farmers Market again. We did have 2 in October, one in the beginning of the month and then one on the 22nd, which is this next one. So right before Halloween, we decorated our booth quite a bit more this time. So let's take a look. Beautiful weather once again, except it was getting chillier, so we were cold at this one too. We've got so many more decorations. I went overboard with those little tiny spiders. But here's the llamas, and we've got a lot more Halloween decorations. Like I said before, we love Halloween, so we went a little crazy with the Halloween themed things. But yeah, for our decorations, the market before you saw only a couple of those tiny spiders. Well, I went to I think I got them at Walmart originally, and I went back to get more, and they didn't have any. So anytime I like went on a hunt for those spiders. I don't know, I kind of became obsessed. Well, I found them, so I bought so many. And then I found them somewhere else, so I bought more. I didn't realize how many I bought, so we had like 30 spiders, and of course I had to put them all out. And then this time, instead of a tiny spider at the top, we've got a big spider, and that spider actually did scare a few kids, which was a good time. It was funny. I'm glad that it was noticed up there and that they were spooked by it. So yeah, we love Halloween, so decorated a bunch. Oh, and then we were gifted with presents of a real spider too. Spooky little spider to go along with my spider theme. Oh, we also did free cauldrons. So we found some tiny cauldrons, and we did free cauldrons with the purchase of a llama. So if you bought a llama, then you got a little cauldron to put it in. I made a gargoyle, a spooky kitty cat. Sky made these jack-o'-lantern scarecrow dudes. Those are really cool. He made a guillotine, which actually, it doesn't like function, but the blade does go up and down if you were to remove the string from from the hook. There's my little spooky llamas with their costumes on. There's the cauldron with a llama in the cauldron. So we also sold them for $1, but if you got a llama, then you got them for free. I've got some llamas with book bags. We've got spooky ghosts and ghouls and a little bat there on a crystal. Oh, I sculpted the book from Hocus Pocus. Tiny little, I think it was like 1 by 1. We've got witch hats and witch brooms. And there's an off-duty llama in the cauldron. All of our sculptures and bismuth and quartz. So on the other side of the tent was a little bit less festive. I did make a bunch of like zipper pulls and bracelets and keychains with jack-o'-lanterns and spiders and whatever else that I could find. And there's me and Sky. I did put a spider off of my hat. Oh, and my mom was in town. This was the first market that my mom was able to come to, so I was super excited to see her. My spider on my hat was kind of attacking everybody, but it was a good one. So yeah, thanks again, Mom, for coming to see me. I'm super happy that you're back in town. Both my parents were living in Florida, and then after the last hurricane, my mom moved back, so I'm glad to have her close by again. And it was good to see her. Now she can come to all my markets. And my dad is a flight attendant, so he comes by every once in a while and checks out the markets too. So yeah, I love the support of my family, so shout out to my family, and thanks guys for being there for me. But yes. onto our next event. Our next event is our first indoor market. So that was the last one that we attended. There was a few more dates that they did the farmers market outside, but we only signed up for a few dates every couple weeks just to kind of ease into this whole vending journey. I didn't want to commit to every single weekend because I didn't know how it was gonna go, you know, how much we were gonna be able to keep up with demand if we were to sell a bunch of stuff. So we just kind of wanted to dip our feet in the water. So that was our last date that we did outdoor, and then the Janesville Farmers Market moves into the mall for their winter market. So our next event is our very first time inside the mall, vending, setting up at the Janesville Winter Market. So let's take a look at that. So they've got us put right in front of Bath & Body Works, which is a prime spot because at this mall there's not a ton of shops still, unfortunately, but Bath & Body Works is definitely one that people come to this mall to visit. So we were in a prime spot. Our booth was able to be accessed at all angles, so we kind of got a 360-degree view. So we had more tables to set up. We could kind of spread things out a little bit better. So yeah, this is how we organized everything. We got our llamas here on this side, and we did mystery boxes. I think we had those the last couple times too. The rest of our Halloween stuff that we've got left over from the holidays. I believe this is November now. So yeah, there's our full booth. So on this side we had the ponchos and the crystals and the necklaces. And then that moved over to more crystals, bismuth crystals, sculptures in between those, and the llamas on this side. And our next event, we are moving into December, and we were in the Janesville Mall again. Inside, they put us in the same spot, so super awesome. So yeah, let's take a look at our next event at the winter market again. So the second time around, they've got us in the same spot, which was super nice. We are doing holiday stuff, so we've got Christmassy items. I did Lucky Little Llamas as Christmas ornaments. Those were a big hit. And then I did Santa hats for the llamas, candy canes, and yeah, that was and snowy llamas. I made it look like the llamas were covered in snow for a couple of them. We did do 50% off of our Halloween stuff now that we're moving closer to Christmas to clearance that out. And here's a few of our sculptures. We played around with doing eyeball mushrooms. So yeah, just kind of dipping our toes into different things and doing holiday stuff. And the rest of the booth pretty much looks the same as it did before. This necklace stand in the corner, it spins, and it's also collapsible, so we've got a screw in the top, and it's starting to get loose, and the grip in the wood of the screw is no longer holding, so we gotta think of something new for that. But yeah, that was our setup for the winter market at Janesville. And December was a crazy month. This was the first time that we did multiple markets, like each weekend. So we had one the 3rd, the 11th, and I believe it was the 17th. So the first 3 weekends of December was market. And it was a lot, but it was fun, and it was cool to know that we could actually like manage doing markets back to back every weekend. So the first one in December was the Janesville Market that you just saw. And then the second one, this next event, was very special to me because it was the last minute market at Edgebrook Center in Rockford. And I grew up in this area, so I would always go to these as a kid. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is super cool. These vendors are awesome. I loved looking at all the art. So it was really cool to then now that I'm grown up, I get to be a part of it. I get to be an artist just setting up at these events and vending them. So it was really cool. And the person running it actually recognized my name and knew my dad, and it was cute. So it was really exciting to, it's funny too, because it's called the Last Minute Market. And I signed up pretty last minute. I was just looking for more markets to fill the winter season. And I called her up and said, hey, like your last minute market, I know it's last minute, but if you have any spots, I'd love to be a part of it. And she was like, yeah, I've only got a couple booths, but let's get you signed up. Another fun fact about the last minute market is it's set up inside of old shops of Edgebrook, so any vacant storefronts, they set the booths up inside. So since it's in December, we didn't have to be outside, which is really awesome. And a special, we got to be in a special storefront because what used to be Wonderland Bookstore was where we were set up, and my grandma would take me to story time at Wonderland Books. So it was really nostalgic and super sad to walk into that building and see it empty, but there was still some artwork on the walls. They have skylights, so there was like the paintings and stuff in the skylights, and I could remember how it was set up and stuff. So really cute that I got to vend inside the storefront that was once Wonderland Bookstore, where my grandma would take me to story time. Yeah, so anyway, let's take a look at how our booth looked and the footage that I got from the last minute market. So where the ponchos are, that's where the story time took place. So it was nice we got to stretch out a little bit. So ponchos over there, then the crystals, and then our sculptures. We also did some snowman this time, so we've got regular snowmen and then also snowmen that are melting. I did tiny presents, and along with, we've got the Santa hats again, the squaw llamas, the candy canes. I did snowy llama-ramas too, so we've got some winter llama-ramas in addition to our regular ones. I made more llama ornaments. And then we've got our Halloween stuff still. I decided to put this stuff out. I think we did 50% off of it for this event too. You'd be surprised that people are still buying even though it's after Halloween. That was a huge hit, was the Halloween stuff. So it was cool to see that people still, even after season, are buying stuff. I think people love Halloween as much as we do. And then continuing on, we've got the bismuth crystals and then the jewelry on the edge here. So we were kind of stretched out and wrapped around a little bit. It was nice because you can see here's the rest of the room where they've got the rest of the vendors and the artwork I was talking about in the skylights. It was nice that they didn't just paint over everything. That was the original store. But anyway, it was nice that they didn't pack in a bunch of vendors. They could have packed more vendors in there if they really wanted to, but it was really nice that they didn't, so that there was actually space for everyone, in addition for space for all the customers to browse and not feel super squished, which it actually got pretty packed with the amount of traffic. From the minute the market opened, it was just people filing in, so it was good, it was good. But yeah, here's a picture of me and my grandma. It was really sweet for her to visit. I'm really happy that she was able to come to this event, especially because we do have those memories together of going to story time in this shop. But yeah, so it was really sweet. Thanks, Grandma, for coming to visit. It's always wonderful to have my family come and visit me at these events. It means a lot. So it was extra special to have my grandma there. Experiencing that with me. So we've got more memories to make in what used to be Wonderland Bookstore, even though Wonderland is no longer existing. With Edgebrook doing the markets in the storefronts, we're able to continue to make memories together of her. She's really supportive of this, of me pursuing my art and vending. She's one of my top supporters for sure. Grandma, I think, almost gets more excited than I do whenever I call her up and tell her about the stuff that we're doing. So yeah, super cute. I'll stop rambling. Love you, Grandma. You're awesome. Thank you for coming to see me. And it was awesome to share another memory. And that brings the last minute market to a close and our last market of the year. This brings us back into the Janesville Mall. It was the winter market at the Janesville Mall. And yeah, let's take a look at the very last event of the year. It was an awesome first year. Yeah, let's take a look. There's me. Hi, me. I've got my llama hat on. I've got my Fa La 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 llama sweater on. And our booth pretty much looks the same as it did the last couple times that we were set up in the mall. By this time in our vending career, we kind of understand what is working, what's not working with our setup, and we've got a good rhythm of getting there and setting things up in the same places. It makes it a lot easier in the mornings when you're getting there super early to have a good rhythm and a good routine of setting up your booth. But yeah, so we've kind of got the same sort of look going on and same sort of setup. But yeah, we've learned a lot about what we like about our inventory, what we don't like about our inventory, and our setup, what's been working for as far as displays and signage. There was so much that we learned and tried out and figured out what worked, what didn't work. So it's been a year of amazing knowledge gained and new experience gained. So I do feel that we've leveled up. I am really excited to see how 2023 goes. We got to work on some of our displays. The necklace stand is kind of not working fully anymore. It's very wobbly, and we got to figure out something new for that. Overall, I would definitely say we are successful in this, even though it costs a lot to set up, to get all the setup. We definitely came out ahead. We crunched the numbers, and I think we made about $1,000 more than we spent, which is huge because we bought 2 tents, we bought tables, tablecloth, like we bought so much stuff, not including or actually we did include like our expenses for materials and all that, but yeah, so this year, even though we had no idea what we were doing, we came out ahead, so that's a huge success. So I'm really happy that it all came together and worked out great. If you're still watching at this point, thank you so much for watching and sticking here with me, even though I'm rambling and going on about just my life and my experience. And so yeah, I want to sincerely thank you if you are still watching at this point of the video. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. Thank you to all my customers. If you bought anything from me in 2022, I want to give you a super duper duper special thank you, because none of this would be possible without you continuing to support me and love my art as much as I love it. So yeah, that brings us to the end of my vending experience in 2022, all of the craft shows and events that we did last year. So I bid you farewell till the next one. Yeah, I feel like I should have some grand finale for this, but I don't. And that's okay. So we'll just say bye. Bye!